Don't you want it? 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 You lose your little mind. My dead.
Deadlights Pod.
Welcome to the Deadlights Podcast. I'm your host, Sam.
And I'm your other host, Leslie. Your weekly dose of horror. And we have a special guest today.
Yeah, we do have a guest today. You might not have noticed him right away, but we have Pazuzu.
Pazuzu.
He's here because he's an expert actually in the field that we're going to be talking about.
I see.
Demon.
Well, I didn't know demons were well endowed.
I guess so. I mean, Pazuzu is. Look at that guy.
Zoom in. If you can somehow.
you might not need to zoom in because he's pretty large in charge over here.
Well, that is true. You can see it from space, I've heard.
Wow. Pazuzu. You should be proud.
Pazuzu.
Proud Pazuzu. And hopefully Pazuzu will give us some good insight into our film today.
Yeah, what did we watch?
We watched The Black Cat from 1934, directed by Edgar G. Ulmer and written by Peter Ruric. American honeymooners in Hungary become trapped in the home of a Satan-worshipping priest when the bride is taken there for medical help following a road accident. Yep.
Yeah.
That is what happened.
That is exactly what happened.
That is pretty much exactly. Yeah, so we're dealing with Satanists, we're dealing with demons. What their end goal was exactly, I couldn't tell you. They're just general Satanists, you know?
Yeah.
Just,
And with this, you know, these people are not, they don't have good intentions for other people.
No.
Especially women.
Definitely.
This film, shot in 1934, yeah, had difficulties with women.
Yes. Didn't portray women exactly at all, really.
No.
And they were very much, again, we see it a lot in these movies. We've watched movies from the 30s and the 40s on this podcast before, and we see this happen a lot where the female characters are very underdeveloped. They're not really even humans. They're more just devices.
Dolls.
Literally, and in this movie specifically, like the main female character, Mrs. Allison, was literally being carried for at least 75% of the movie. Just placed around.
Yeah, placed around, manhandled, and absolutely not given any sort of substance to her character.
No.
You know, and and everybody was like eyeing her to like a point of like very predatory. Like they were gonna like eat her.
Yeah. And I guess we should just say we're going into the can right now.
Yeah, let's go into it.
We're going into it. We've been going into it for a second. Hope you're keeping up. Yeah, they're doing a really good job, I think, of actually making these guys look really scary and evil intentioned. And I actually really like when we are introduced to Boris Karloff's character. We don't even see him right away. We see his bedroom. We see a incapacitated woman lying on the bed, and then we just see his silhouette rise up very menacingly, and then we don't even see his face in that moment.
No,
it's not until the next scene when he comes through the door and we see him for the first time, and he's an imposing figure. He's scary, and they do a good job of doing these low angle shots and lighting him really scary. And
also their form of speech is so slow, and it takes a while for them to get a whole paragraph, like little monologue. So their speech is slower, their movements are slower and very intentional. So it adds a kind of like layered of like, I don't know, should we trust these people? They already look, you know, they're in dark clothes, their hair is like glued to their head. Their eyebrows are heavily painted. This is someone that we're supposed to be concerned with.
Yes. And then the Bela Lugosi, Dracula, from what I got, his character was kind of a follower of Evil Priest for a long time.
18 years ago, I left a girl so like your lovely wife to go to war. After 15 years, I have returned.
Where is my wife, Karen, and my daughter?
Karen? Well, what do you mean?
I mean, you told Karen I had been killed. I found out that much in Budapest.
But the Evil Priest has supposedly, they've died.
Yeah.
But we find out that he is keeping his wife in a glass box downstairs, and also his daughter as his new wife. Ew.
Disgusting.
But my point more is that the Dracula character definitely is a bad guy too, because he was part of this Satanist cult, at least at some point. So he is a bad guy, but he is there for retribution more and to get revenge on the evil guy.
The evil guy.
Evil guy. So they're still shooting Dracula in a way to make him kind of scary. And we still are questioning the whole time.
We're not sure.
Should we trust this guy?
Yeah.
I think the movie does a pretty good job of us making us not trust him. In the end, I think he actually does become a kind of redeemed character. He dies because he deserves it, but he does sacrifice himself to kill Evil Priest too.
Yep. And just with talking about like sound, the sound design was pretty great. I love that we had specific music for specific characters, and then through those characters we were able to develop a sort of kind of like theme genre within the movie of just like the lovers were lovers, and we had nothing but sweet kind of music in the background, and then caressing their faces up against each other.
He's munching on her hair.
Licking
her eyeball.
Oh, yeah. And then the girl just like taking it, because what else is she going to do? She's just like, yeah. No, this woman was not given any lines.
No lines.
Just screaming and fainting.
Cut to, honestly, a montage of all the faints and screams.
I gave her a very powerful narcotic. I'm sure it will be effective soon.
She should probably go to a doctor.
No, and
her fainting spells came on pretty easily.
And this is the thing that I've people who have analyzed I what even 30s and above kind of women characters in movies and stuff, is that they should have gone to the doctor. They should have.
Because
it's not great for your brain to keep, shutting down like that. And nobody really cared. They just wanted her to rest. That's all they wanted.
Just go to sleep.
Just put her to bed.
Put her to bed.
Pick her up and put her to bed.
Oh, yeah.
She got picked up so many times.
And tucked right back in bed. Right back.
Like a child.
And at the beginning, they had to give her drugs to go to sleep. But by the end, she was just fainting so much. They were like, oh,
yeah.
We don't have to waste any drugs on her. Perfect.
Yeah.
Just spook her a little bit. I mean, honestly, by the end, she was screaming so much that I was like, you know what, just
I guess,
just go to sleep. Someone will carry you. I mean, they have the whole movie, so
that is true.
Just commit to it.
No. I didn't like that. And I did find the script. For me, I think I need subtitles when it comes to adding heavy accents onto a character. Because I couldn't keep up. I didn't understand.
Yeah, there were some tough points for sure to kind of keep up with. And then, I think it is a pretty talking movie.
Yeah.
They are talking a lot. There's a lot of scenes of them talking and walking. A lot of exposition going on that they're just kind of feeding us.
Going up and down the spiral, like the spiral staircase.
Going down the halls, dropping everyone off at their rooms, doing the bows. There's a lot of that. So they're talking
a lot of doors opening and closing.
Yes, a lot of. Is your room? Oh, want to switch rooms? Let's switch. So it was very heavy-handed in the dialogue. I agree too, and at a certain point, you're like, it's so much being thrown at you that you can't intake all the information.
I couldn't.
I caught, I feel like, the most important bits of information to figure out everyone's motivations. But everything else, like if they explained what this cult's motivation was, I did not catch that at all. And this guy, it seemed for sure like everything in this cult was going back to this guy, this evil person.
Oh yeah, him just needed, to catch all the women.
Mm-hmm.
Like Pokemon.
Gotta catch them all.
Pokemon.
Well, I think that perfectly leads into the meat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we can talk about him for a little bit and this cult that he is leading. Because you're right. In the end, when we see like the shot of all the cult members, now thinking about it, it's mostly women. There's like this shot of these rows of women getting on their knees in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
And
there was dudes there. They weren't bending.
They were in the back.
They weren't bending. They
weren't
weren't kneeling.
They weren't bending either.
They were bending.
They weren't. But yeah, you're totally right. And a lot of his motivations and his actions just came from a place of control and possession.
Oh, yes.
Which was I think a pretty big theme for him, at least.
And he made that house. He's an architector.
Mm-hmm.
Architector. He's an architector.
Yeah.
All of this country was one of the greatest battlefields of the war. Tens of thousands of men died here.
A masterpiece of construction built upon the ruins of the masterpiece of destruction.
And he's got the women in the boxes downstairs. I mean, everything that he does, and this like whatever he's doing to Dracula's daughter to like hypnotize her in some way to like keep her in the room. He has some sort of like actual like supernatural power.
It's not supernatural. She's just a woman. Remember, we are we're just good at fainting.
I think it's interesting that this movie really has it's another one of these movies that has no good characters. And that's kind of the point. We're dealing with a lot of anti-heroes. I mean,
except for the young couple.
The young couple, they're just the innocent lambs that are...
They had it looked like what it appears like is that they had just gotten married.
Yes.
So they were very excited and horny because they had never done it. Because they're good Christian kids.
They're about to do in that train car.
Oh, yes, they were. They're like, do we want to order in the cart or in the room? Mm. And she's like, elegant.
And then fucking Dracula comes in, mood killer. Brr.
I'm here to cock block. Yep, everything. Yeah. Everything. The whole vibe.
He was like, the husband was like, ugh.
Yeah, he was being a little kid about it.
I'm so freaking horny. What the
But I also would have reacted that way.
I would have been pissed.
Also, like, Dracula motherfucker is coming in and he looks like Dracula. No, thank you.
And also he like...
Creepy vibe.
And the husband woke up when they were taking a nap to Dracula like stroking his wife's hair. And he still was just like...
Yeah, he didn't do anything about it. And then they became good friends.
They were good friends.
And then they were like talking and they were fine. I was like, excuse me, no. And also that lady never woke up to like anybody having a conversation around her. Mm-hmm. I would have woke up immediately, but I'm also a light sleeper, I guess. It was, yeah. And they were talking about her and I'm like, I would have woken up.
She sleeps hard.
She passes out.
Yeah, like
she's constantly
knocked out.
Yeah,
just completely knocked out.
I wanted to touch bases on the supernaturalness of the creepy priest.
Yes.
I totally agree that he does have that like kind of hypnosis kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm thinking that the black cat is a like a hypnosis like phobia kind of, quote unquote curse that he placed on this guy.
He is the unfortunate victim of one of the commoner phobias, but in an extreme form. He has an intense and all-consuming horror of cats.
For me, I'm like, he looks like he's been cursed, and Creepy Priest loves that cat. That's his cat.
He keeps picking it up. He keeps petting it. He also is the one that explains Dracula's phobia. He's like, he has this intense fear of cats. He's like loving it too.
To black cats.
Yeah, you're right. I get that vibe for sure.
When you mentioned that it's like supernatural, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, he could totally be placing hypnosis or curse or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever people think Satanists are.
Well, and it kind of goes back to this idea of a cult though, because maybe it wasn't something supernatural. Maybe he just does actually have this fear of black cats really intensely. But this cult leader is so manipulative that he knows how to use that against him, and then how to then make it seem like he has supernatural powers to be able to command black cats or something, when he just knows that he can use this guy's fear against him.
Yeah, that is true.
So I can see it going both ways, but it no matter what, it goes back to this evil priest using that for his own.
That's
gain.
mean. Just bullying.
It's fucked up.
He's bullying his so-called friend.
That's the way effed up.
That's not effed up.
Yeah.
I mean, and also, like, at one point, they were playing chess because Evil Priest was like, yeah, I shown you my lair. I have your wife down there. And so I'm going to take this girl into one of those little, like, boxes.
Yeah.
I have an extra one.
It's ready to go.
And,
Perfect size.
And they were battling it out on chess.
Yes.
To see if they were going to go with that plan or Dracula was going to let them free.
Mm-hmm. I really like that scene too, because it goes back to this idea of like the student versus the master. Like the student's been gone for years, but now he returns, and is he strong enough yet to defeat the evil master? It's this kind of like old story that we've seen before, classic story.
I mean, I wish there was more fist fighting.
We didn't get a fist fight until the very end.
Until the very end,
which I liked.
I mean,
I liked
absolutely. That fight. It was great.
Yeah.
It was highly anticipated.
It was kind of cool too to see like Dracula and Frankenstein like beat the shit out of each other. Kind of cool. From a film nerd perspective.
I mean, they looked like they were having fun, to be honest.
Yeah.
They looked like they were having a merry time, throwing each other on the floor and rolling around. Whee!
They're also both huge. I never realized
they're tall.
Because I realized I anticipated that the guy who plays Frankenstein is a very tall man. Figured that would be the case. But Dracula's as tall as him. Like standing next to each other, they were the same height. So I'm like, damn, both these guys are huge.
Which I wanted to bring up framing. I can see how Wes Anderson has taken a lot of shots and ideas of like placements from the 30s. Like everything is very aesthetically pleasing to watch. But one thing that I don't like, because it adds to the dynamic between a woman and a man, and she is so much lower, quote unquote. So all the shots are also her being like so low to the frame, and the men are towering over her.
Yes.
Every fucking shot.
It makes them look like super overbearing and super
fragile.
Creepy.
Just like
her very fragile.
Her very fragile.
Them like super powerful, because also for them to get, because she's in a bed for most of it, or laying down, for them to get those shots, the camera has to be low, which just makes them seem even bigger in the frames. So it creates even more sense of the shift of power dynamic in the scene. Yeah, it's creepy. It just those shots alone are creepy.
Yeah, they're unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to like jump to the
cook?
The cook?
Let's do the cook.
The cook.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I wrote down just a couple of things that I thought they did a good job of kind of like showing the theme through. One of them was the chess scene, which I was like, that makes sense for the Dracula character kind of testing the waters in that scene of like, could I be strong enough to maybe defeat the evil priest who was my master for so long? And he does lose the chess match. He does lose it.
Yeah. But Dracula, his character is very interesting to me because you come in first being like creepy vibes. I get creepy vibes. And then you find out that this creepy priest has taken his family. His wife is dead. And he doesn't do anything about that. And then these, like the people that he wants to, quote unquote, save, this young couple, they're going to, like, the guy was going to get murdered and the girl was going to be murdered, also kept as trophy.
Maybe.
I
Something
don't know,
not
not
good.
clear.
Yeah, bad.
And he was letting all of that happen.
Yeah.
Just because he lost that chest. What?
But then he does have the moment when he does help her escape. In the end, him and another henchman help her get out. So he does come around to redeeming moment of freeing this person, this innocent, from whatever the priest was going to do, which I do like. But yeah, I had that question too of like, at what point did he make the decision that he was going to go against the evil priest? And was he just going along with his plan for so long to, like, was it because he was just trying to decide if he was going to go against him, or was it because he was like planning to release her at that moment, like waiting for the right moment? I couldn't tell.
I couldn't tell either, and I think it was just not well introduced to us. I think by the script, or maybe the acting. I'm not sure.
Because they did get there. They got there to him going against the evil priest and ultimately killing him and saving the couple. He did do that in the end. But yes, my question was, how evil was he throughout the movie?
I thought that he was like somehow helping, creepy priest.
I got that sense too.
But I don't know.
But was
this
he
is
just
when I
doing that?
lost a lot of the direction and was confused. Cuz like, why are you waiting? Why are you waiting? You could have had the opportunity to save her when you went to go tell her that you're going to come back to save her.
You had the key.
You literally had the key. He just like, after that moment, he locks her back in to the bedroom. He goes downstairs and creepy priest is there and he hands him the key.
That made me think, oh shit, like, did Dracula just do that to make the girl think that she should trust him?
Yeah.
And that was part of the evil priest's plan? Or did the evil priest, was the evil priest pissed about it? I couldn't tell.
I couldn't tell either.
Yeah. I liked 2. I mean, it was pretty on the nose, but I kind of did like 2 at the beginning when the couple was arriving into the town.
Tens of thousands of men died here. The ravine down there was piled 12 deep with dead and wounded men.
Very much like building on
The
hollow
suspense,
ground
yeah.
and like could there be ghosts and evil things that
Evil.
happen? And then
Pure
immediately they
evil.
get into a car accident right after that. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
very like, ooh.
It
evil
hadn't
thing.
rained like that in so long, too. It looked like there's a monsoon happening.
Oh my God, yeah.
So yeah, but the only person that got hurt was the bus driver who died,
The bus driver did.
and then the girl.
Of
No
course.
one else.
No
No.
Not even a scratch.
Nope. Well,
No-
the girl either.
Yeah.
She had whatever on her shoulder, but like nothing on her face.
Well, you know what? She probably didn't get that hurt, but she fainted because she's an easy fainter. So
She is. They said they kept going back into conversations of, oh, she's not that bad. We just gotta let her rest. And yeah.
It really at some point felt like just an excuse of the movie to be like, and that's what that character's
And that,
doing.
yeah.
And
Well, she's here
we'll
just to be
see you later.
beautiful.
Exactly.
Come on, everybody.
Exactly. She's just an object.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just staring out to nowhere.
Where's Mr. Allison? I don't remember. his name.
Mr.
Peter.
Allison.
Where's Peter? Peter.
He had a name? She
Yeah.
didn't have a name.
I don't remember her name.
They just called her by his last name.
Even her husband was like, Mrs. Allison.
Yeah, Mrs. Allison.
Isn't it hot when I call you by my name? You think that's sexy? I'm gonna munch on your hair some more.
Ew.
Well, we talked about it a little bit, but I think we should get to the thrill. a little
Yeah.
bit. And we kind of talked about this already, but I like that we kind of have these two bad guys going on through the movie, that
Mhm.
being Dracula and evil priest, aka Frankenstein. And we don't trust them through the whole movie. Like, the
No.
more we learn about them, the more we see these fucking creepy shots of them. The whole time, until the very, very end, was like, do not like these guys.
Fuck these guys.
Creepy.
Fuck these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, nope, not at all. They both had bad intentions. They both knew each other's like past.
Mm-hmm.
No one's good here.
No one's good here. Nothing good is going on in this blood-soaked town.
Blood-soaked, empty Star Trek Enterprise.
Yeah, this big mansion.
What?
Which, by the way, I should mention the set was pretty cool.
Yeah, the set was
The
great.
set was awesome.
Lots of sliding doors.
A lot of sliding doors. Big staircases, spiral staircases, a dungeon, the big grand living room. I mean, it was a pretty dope spot.
It was huge.
Pretty dope spot. Pretty cool them shooting in it too. It was just like this, like you said before, this like perfect evil palace that this guy built for himself, in the middle of town evil.
Town evil.
Yeah.
Evilville.
Population 1. And
well, yeah.
him and all
Because they're
these-
dead.
Yeah, pretty much.
You don't count them.
But
Yeah.
and he was tall and like creepy and stoic, and like we barely saw him smile. Like we barely saw him emote. He was
Yeah. Deep lines, though.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. It made him scary. He was,
Very stoic, very dead.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, the thrill for me, I think, is if this was real. I mean, if this person was actually real and has dead bodies just in cages in their basement of their home while they hold, I don't even know. I don't want to call it Satanism because like that's a actual not. It had
Yeah, no,
evilism.
Yeah.
He was performing evilism.
He was evil.
He was evil.
Absolutely. I mean, cult leader, no matter what it was, he was.
That's scary.
He was
That's
scary.
scary.
Yeah.
And then he just like wanted actual human beings as trophies. That's disgusting.
Mhm.
He just kept staring at her too with that one scene. Just like fucking staring at her, and she was just like covering herself,
Yeah.
trying. I don't know.
That was, I feel like, one of the first times I've ever seen like at least in these old movies, like a woman really feeling uncomfortable by a man's stare. Like usually the man is staring and the woman is like, oh, wow.
Yep.
Yes, stare at
Oh
me.
my God.
But in this case, it was like
It was creepy. And she felt it.
Yeah.
But then she laughed about it with her husband, and they're like, aren't these guys a trip?
They're
This
correct.
house is disgusting. We should get out of here as soon as possible.
Honeymoons are crazy, am I right?
This is not where we wanted to be. Oh, speaking of those the cop scene.
Oh my God.
The bit about like what town is better than the
Jesus.
other.
Yeah, there was a couple times in this movie, and I was gonna wait till the ride to do it, but we can
Let's get to the ride.
Let's get to the ride.
Yeah.
There was a couple scenes in this movie where I was like, we don't need to be here. We don't need to be doing this scene. Nothing has been added, and the cop scene was absolutely one of them.
Well, Mrs. Allison, Dr. Verdegast, and I were on our way to Gumbush.
Gumbush? It's my home. What a beautiful place. What grandeur. What charm. Gumbush is a pearl of the Carpathian
I
Mountains.
beg your pardon, sir. Gumbush, it's very nice in its way, but it cannot compare with Pistian.
Paul Sarancham, Brian.
Pistian!
I was like, oh, all of a sudden it's a comedy now?
Yeah, I think they were supposed to be the comic relief. They came in to get statements about the crash, which who the fuck cares? Like, that doesn't even matter to the movie anymore.
No, not at all.
And they just came in and asked one question, and then the honeymooner was like, yeah, we're actually on our way to this place. And then they're like, oh no, you that's my hometown. That's a beautiful place. You're gonna love it there. And then the other cop's like, no, you gotta go to this place. This place is better. That's where I grew up. Oh no, you gotta go this way. You gotta go to this place. Oh, we forgot what the scene's about. We gotta get out of here. And then they left.
Nothing was resolved.
It was awful.
Nothing was resolved. And also, when you're having a serious tone throughout the whole movie, and then all of a sudden this one scene is the only thing that seems funny, and then you go back to being serious, it's very jarring. It's very like whiplash. Just kind of like, I was confused. I was left confused a lot of the time.
It very much felt like they felt like they needed to throw this scene in there to have some sort of comic relief.
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe they just, they're like, audiences need a funny scene because they just can't handle this doom and gloom story.
I mean, it's Edgar Allan Poe.
True.
You can tell when they incorporated some of Edgar Allan Poe's, poetry on there. They started speaking more lavish and flowery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that cop scene was in the original story. I hope not.
I don't know. I was like, is this an adaptation, or is this like word for word?
It said inspired by, what did it say in the credits? Inspired by the immortal legend Edgar Allan Poe. That was like in the credits, so I don't know.
How long ago had Edgar Allan Poe?
He was in the 1800s, right? He's an 1800 dude. So maybe...
Yeah, in the 1880s?
Yeah, maybe like 50 years before, something like that.
Okay. Relatively. I mean...
The immortal legend. He's immortal.
Well, you know what? Betty White is immortal too. Okay?
That's true. That is true. She was immortal before she was dead.
Absolutely.
So maybe he was too.
She's golden.
Can you imagine Betty White and Edgar Allan Poe hanging up in the Immortal Lounge?
Yeah, so what are you here for?
I was creepy writer. What are you here for?
Oh, nice. I'm Betty White.
Oh my god. I love your stuff. Yeah. There was a couple scenes like that though. Like a couple of times when they were just walking through the halls and just talking, I was like, can we please just go either walk faster or cut more?
Run.
Just please run.
At this point, just run.
Get to the doors.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it was
trying to
what was
be
great,
nice.
What was wild was like, it was probably the shortest movie that we've watched on this podcast. It was 65 minutes. So it was just over an hour.
Right.
But I felt like it dragged a little more than some of the movies we've watched.
So much.
Which is crazy. Like
their speech, if you're not going to watch this, is very much like this. I'm holding you on. But this is how they talked the whole time.
and walked even slower.
And walked. Their hand movements too took like 2 minutes to just kind of get here.
Yeah, I seriously think
And then move on.
If they talked at a normal speed and they walked at a normal speed, the movie might have been a half hour, which is maybe why they were like, you need to, hey man, slow down. Slow down, all right?
Or maybe they're just, they themselves in the edit room just slowed it down.
That's sometimes what I do with us.
You can't really hear that one, but he
I was
fainted.
fainting very slow.
Well, if you were to faint actually on here,
You'd
I
have
would
plenty
rather
of time
you
to
go
catch
that
me.
way.
Okay.
No, there's equipment over there too.
You'd have plenty of time to get up and catch me, though. Walk around the table.
Just like
Go to the bathroom.
there's obstacles.
Yeah.
Still,
you'd have plenty of time. Anyway, wow, the Black Cat.
The Black Cat.
Wow.
Wow.
Pazuzu, thank you for joining us on that one.
Yeah.
Let's get to the Smash Pumpkin rating. Pazuzu, what do you think? His penis turned down. Wow. If you were just listening, his massive penis turned downwards. Leslie, what do you think?
I am gonna give it my first 1.5.
1.5.
I understand this is from a different era. We've seen some really good stuff that the older stuff that still carries through. This one in particular to me does not. And I don't know, I think they were just focusing too much on trying to hold they were just I don't even know. I have no words for this movie. Because I don't understand. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's truly not much that I liked.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think I'm going to give it a similar, because I actually did enjoy a good amount of the actual filmmaking of it. Like I did enjoy the cinematography, the lighting, the blocking, some of these tableaus, the set was awesome. I really did enjoy pretty much all the technical things about it. And even some of the acting moments were kind of cool with having Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff together. I did enjoy that. So I can kind of I feel like I can give him the can, I can give him that. And then, genuinely Evil Priest was fucking scary. Like he was a scary character in general. So I feel like I can give him some of the thrill on that. So I think I'm going to give it a 2.
You got it?
I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5.
Yeah.
Just a little below in the middle. Didn't hate it, but it was okay. It was slow.
It was slow. But for me, it was just more of,
Yeah, it was really.
I don't like being depicted that way.
Yeah, definitely not great.
Not great.
That's why I couldn't give it on the cook at all, because
no,
I really didn't cook anything.
You didn't cook anything besides your brain.
This is your brain on drugs. This is your brain on Black
the
Cat.
Marijuana.
This is all we do now.
The weed kind of like
deflated girl. That's essentially how the women were depicted in this movie.
Yeah, that's it. They smoke too much weed.
This is all we do now.
Thanks everybody for coming by. Oh, we have a phone number.
We do have a phone number, and that phone number is
773-669-6677.
We're gonna call us with movie suggestions or how to pronounce the name of this movie,
or any creepy stories you have.
Leave us a voicemail and maybe we'll play it on the show.
Yeah, or even like cute little stories of like you going to see your first horror film.
Yeah.
What your, horror history is.
We wanna hear it all. We wanna hear it all.
And so you can follow me on Color Me Leslie.
And me at BBBridgieT. And us at the Deadlights Pod. Also check out Playground Social, which is the studio that we're recording this
We are
at.
here.
But
Until next time, let's get spooky.
You're scared of me. Yeah.